This is my audience. I'm sorry. Okay. You don't drown by falling in the water, you drown by staying there. This was said by Edwin Lewis Cole, and what he meant is that we always go through troubled times at some point in our lives, but it's up to us to create a solution to solve these problems. After seeing many movies, I can't help but realize Leo the Lion has not introduced as many movies as he has before in the past. And so with further research, I have found information from sources like Wikipedia, LA Times, independentcompanies.com, and Bloomberg.com. From these sources, I have found information that shows MGM's past history and perhaps a way that they can improve. My topic today is over Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios Incorporated. Their problem that they face is people do not think they're a very successful motion picture company. Their solution to solve this is by improving their work ethics, hiring established leaders to be the CEOs, presidents, and directors, and investing in movies that have the potential to be extremely successful. MGM Studios used to be known as making more stars in the heavens, but nowadays they are having a hard time making any stars. In 2011, they went through a recent bankruptcy. From this, they have had a very hard time trying to climb to the top of the box office, competing with motion picture companies like Sony, Universal, and Warner Brothers, who currently have the top positions in the box office. And they have almost spent about $150 million to fund operations for their new coming movies, like the next James Bond movie and the next Lord of the Rings movie, sorry, The Hobbit. And they also plan to spend more. Another thing that has decreased their revenue is that the new technology that has come out today is stopping what has brought in the most income that they have received in the past, and this income comes from their DVD sales. All these things lead to new changes, and one of the significant changes that they've gone through is that they had to move from MGM Tower that is located in Century City to a new building at Beverly Hills. They have lost their luxurious space in order to decrease the debt that they owe, and so they switched to a smaller 6-foot story building. In addition, an anonymous employee has said that there is a high turnover rate in senior management, and it would be wise to invest more resources into retaining valuable employees. So with the debt that they had back in 2005, they created a hierarchy to help balance out the debt with allowing other shareholders to be part of this. And so they started with MGM Holdings Incorporated, which in turn controls MGM Incorporated, who controls MGM Studios Incorporated. Shareholders like Providence Equity Partners, TPG Capital, and Sony Corporation of America and Comcast are the biggest shareholders that they have, and they each own more than 20% in MGM Holding Incorporated. Stephen Foley, a reporter, has reported that the future of the world's most famous film studios is hanging in the balance this weekend as creditors of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer debate whether to force the company into bankruptcy. This was about mid-2010 when MGM was basically staring bankruptcy in the face. Around the end of 2010, beginning of 2011, they had finally decided that bankruptcy was their only option. And another reporter had commented that Spyglass Entertainment is now to take over the company. After the bankruptcy, there were many effects of MGM Studios' reputation that caused it to suffer. They hired a turnaround specialist, Stephen Cooper, to help MGM Studios restructure, and he commented that a restructuring was the only viable alternative for the company to continue to operate. In addition to showing that MGM Studios' reputation was being diminished, they had MGM Resorts become concerned. Because MGM Resorts shares the name Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer with MGM Studios, the resorts were very concerned that their investors were going to think that they were also going into bankruptcy. And so they had to make very clear that they were very, very much separated from the actual studio. And so their reputation wasn't diminished as well. MGM Studios has made many unforgettable movies. And with their reputation diminished, people are starting to see that they might not be making unforgettable movies anymore. If MGM fails to increase their revenue, they could be going back into deep debt and possible bankruptcy again. Nikki Fink, a reporter of LA Times, said faced with a $3.7 billion debt due in July 2012, MGM will pay about $250 million in interest alone by April 2010. That is a vast sum of money. And facing these problems could lead to more restructuring and more new changes. MGM Studios can see what steps to take to ascend back into a place of importance among other motion picture corporations. Some of these steps include hiring experienced leaders, cutting the budget, and investing in productions. If MGM does these things, they will be proactive and they will not really be relying on others to help them out of their problem. They will realize that they themselves can get them out of this problem. And as part of this, the reconstruction has brought upon the MGM Studios a new system of operation. And this new system will shine a new light on the corporation, which people can now view their reputation as not being as diminished as it was before. Their reputation will start to build again. However, MGM Studios probably wouldn't have reconstruction as much so unless they had done what they had did back in 2011, which was hitting rock bottom. If they hadn't gone into bankruptcy, they probably would not have reconstructed. This reconstruction will earn them recognition that they once had before. In the past year, they had made a movie, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Lover, this movie didn't bring in the revenue that they expected. But when they helped produce the movie 21 Jump Street, this low-budget film earned about $36 million on opening weekend, raising the hopes of MGM. And the revenue that they hopefully received through this was a very good asset into putting investments into their new productions. 50% of the revenue received through to MGM is through their library. They have a vast library which includes the James Bond franchise, the Pink Panther franchise, and the Rocky franchise. By receiving money through this, what they do is that they get these legendary shows and TV series and they distribute them through television channels. Ben Fritz of the LA Times also said, in the current year, MGM expects to see revenue grow significantly, largely due to its 50% interest in fourth quarter releases, The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, and Skyfall, the newest title in the studio's long-running James Bond franchise. Revenue received from these productions should be turned into their investments. They should make movies with lower budgets but receive a higher income. And with this higher income, it will be invested into their new productions. This has been seen in Warner Brothers through the Harry Potter franchise. With each Harry Potter movie, it paved the pathway for the next Harry Potter to be made. And this franchise ended with Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2, which in turn made $1.1 billion, the most revenue, or the most highest grossing film that Warner Brothers has produced. The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey is expected at the end of 2012, and this will be the point at which MGM Studios will recognize its success if they have actually succeeded in earning their reputation back. Do you have that particular movie that you always watch when you want to feel good? if it's a romantic comedy, a Disney movie that you love since childhood, or perhaps like a series of movies in itself. One of these series could be The Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings has brought entertainment to many, and MGM has the opportunity to continue this franchise with their next movie, The Hobbit. As Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can do it. In conclusion, this studio used to produce movies that entertain everyone, but in this day and age, they are no longer producing these movies. However, if they make new changes, hire good leaders, and invest in the right movies, they will be a prominent movie studio again. And here is my audience again. Thank you.